the storm and evermore. I hear the thunder, feel the fire. My soul's alive, my heart's desire to fly, to dream, to rise and scream. I am free.
Dewey Waddell was a retired Air Force colonel who was shot down over North Vietnam in 1967. Waddell's capture and subsequent imprisonment at the Hanoi Hilton were marked by his efforts to communicate with his family through a photograph, which eventually led to his identification and release in 1973. His story is a testament to the enduring hope and resilience of POWs. Nearly 81,000 American service members remain missing after having served in World War II, Korea, Vietnam, and other conflicts involving the United States. In March 2021, a team from Vietnam visited the crash site of a U.S. F-4 aircraft and recovered the remains of Air Force Colonel Ernest De Soto and Air Force Captain Frederick Hall, and they were given dignified burials. Greetings, Patriots. I'm Perry Green, and this is our God in America podcast. Today is the National POW MIA Recognition Day. The terms POW and MIA hold profound significance to our armed forces, representing individuals who have endured unimaginable trials. POW stands for Prisoner of War, referring to military personnel captured and held in confinement by enemy forces during a conflict. MIA, meaning missing in action, denotes service members whose whereabouts are unknown after engagement in battle. Together, these designations embody the sacrifices and uncertainties faced by men and women in uniform, forming an enduring legacy of resilience and hope. Every American conflict has had POWs and MIAs, including our war for independence. The Declaration of Independence signers agreed to offer their lives, fortunes, and sacred honor in their quest for liberty. It cost them dearly. One example is Henry Lorenz. The British captured Lorenz and transported him to England. There he was charged with treason and imprisoned in the Tower of London, becoming the only American to be held there. Another is Richard Stockton of New Jersey. He had his home overrun by the British Army. He managed to get his family to safety, but he was captured specifically because he signed the Declaration of Independence. He endured harsh imprisonment for years. In modern times, the prisoners of war status is internationally recognized under the Geneva Conventions, which outline the rights and protections for POWs. Despite these conventions, history has seen numerous instances where prisoners face severe conditions, ranging from inadequate provisions to physical and psychological abuse. POWs are symbols of resilience and courage, often enduring captivity for months or years while maintaining hope of eventual freedom. The World War II Death March at Bataan was an example of such abuse. The Japanese brutally abused and murdered their American captives on their long trek to the POW encampment. Missing in action refers to military personnel who are unaccounted for following combat. These individuals may have been killed, captured, or lost due to the chaos of battle. Their status is shrouded in ambiguity, leaving families and nations searching for answers. The term MIA evokes a sense of unresolved loss, emphasizing the importance of remembrance and continued efforts to locate and identify those missing. Memorials dedicated to POWs and MIAs can be found across the earth. The POW MIA flag, a stark black and white banner bearing the phrase, "You are not forgotten," emerged during this era as a powerful emblem of remembrance and commitment. It flies over government buildings, military installations, and at public events. It serves as a reminder of the sacrifices made in the ongoing pursuit of answers. When I think of someone in the Bible who was MIA or POW, I think of Joseph. His brothers captured and sold him into slavery. He went to prison after a false accusation and was MIA from his family for years. The brothers deceived their father Jacob into thinking Joseph was dead, but he was missing. After years, they were reunited after God freed him from the dungeon and set him up as Egypt's governor, second only to Pharaoh. Psalm 142, verse 7 could easily have been Joseph's prayer. Bring me out of prison, that I may give thanks to your name. The righteous will surround me, for you will deal bountifully with me. There are many kinds of prisons. The Germans had their concentration camps and incarcerated military personnel, and all they determined were their enemies. Muslims enslaved and sold their victims much like the despots of the Bible times. There are addictive prisons with alcohol and drugs entrapping us. There are emotional prisons and abusive prisons where someone wields inappropriate control. Jesus set us free from all punitive institutions. He delivered his first sermon in Nazareth, which almost got him killed. He read from Isaiah 61 and made pointed comments that met with violent disagreement. Notice Luke 4, verses 16 through 19. So he came to Nazareth, where he had been brought up, and as his custom was, he went into the synagogue on the Sabbath and stood up to read. And he was handed the book of the prophet Isaiah. And when he had opened the book, he found the place where it was written, "The Spirit of the Lord is upon me, because he's anointed me to preach the gospel to the poor. He has sent me to heal the brokenhearted, to proclaim liberty to the captives and recovery of sight to the blind, to set at liberty those who are oppressed, to proclaim the acceptable year of the Lord." So many of Jesus' disciples endured abuse and imprisonment at the hands of God's enemies and counted it as an opportunity for the gospel. Paul and Silas preached in Philippi and found themselves beaten and imprisoned. Then, while they were singing and praying at midnight, the Lord opened the prison doors. They could have fled, but they stayed and preached the good news that freed the jailer and his family from the prison of their sins. Today, we remember those who've been POWs or MIA. The writer gives us an appropriate text to apply in Hebrews 13, verse 3. He said, "Remember the prisoners as if chained with them, those who are mistreated, since you yourselves are in the body also." Well, thank you for being with us today. Please like, subscribe to, follow, and share our podcast. If you'd like to donate to our ministry, please go to godinamerica.com. As we close, let's keep the light of remembering our abused heroes burning.
My soul's alive, my heart's desire to fly, to dream, to rise and scream.